Hello everyone, I'm Hummus28 and welcome to Clayblock. So this is a brand new mod pack with the sole idea of can we beat Minecraft when everything is made out of clay, with the one goal of producing the ultimate compressed clay block. Let's get started. So obviously first things we're going to do is start breaking down clay to collect clay balls so we can actually start doing some stuff. Now if you take a look, there is double compressed clay, and if you look at these trees here, they're made of clay leaves, and the trunks are triple compressed clay, which if you try to break it with your hand, takes a very long time, and I don't think you can actually collect it. As you can see there, so without a shovel we cannot collect any compressed clay, so we're just going to have to do our part with regular clay. So now that we have a stack of clay balls, we need to make ourselves a crafting table, and to do so, we're going to take our clay and convert it back into the block form, just like that. Then we're going to compress this clay, and we're going to need 2 more of these to make 1 times compressed clay, and then we can use this to make clay planks. Then with 3 more of these, we can make a crafting table, and we can also make a stick. Now if we take a look at a shovel here, a wooden shovel is made from planks, including clay planks. So once we have one of these, we can just we'll be able to strip down these trees for a lot more clay, a heck of a lot faster. So now, using Control K, we can convert these directly into blocks, then Control K again to compress that. Now we need to do this a couple more times here. Get 2 of these, compress that, add our clay, make clay planks, turn that into a crafting table, and place the table. Now we can take the rest of this and make ourselves, can't do it in there, make ourselves 1, let me make 1 more, there we go, do this, do that, clay plank. Now we can make a shovel using our crafting table. So now we take our planks, convert those to sticks, take those sticks along with 1 clay plank to make the first wooden shovel. And now we should be able to, oh hello there! Hi there little Scrimblow from Untitled Duck Mod. But now using the shovel, we should be able to start collecting triple X compressed clay from the trees. Ooh, an egg. Perfect. We're going to save these because you can also use these in what is this called? A kiln to make triple compressed clay, and triple compressed clay can be used to breed more Scrimblows. And now that we have triple compressed clay, we can use that to turn all of it into double compressed clay. I wonder why we just got that here. Oh, because I only did the single compressed clay, because this one, I don't believe, oh, you can make these into planks. 6 planks, in fact, so we can make more planks, and we should be able to use this to make ourselves a basic wooden pickaxe. And we need to seek out a campfire to actually turn our clay balls into bricks. Now I don't see one around here, but I thought I saw one earlier along the horizon over there. So let me grab my crafting table and let's move towards that campfire. And that's where we're going to set up our first base. Now it took a little bit of time to cross the absolute chasm that was separating the valleys here. And the sun is going down. Luckily though, we made it up to the campfire. Now we're going to build our our first base around this structure. So we're going to go ahead and build a little staircase to go up there using all of our compressed clay. Actually, I should have just broke this down into regular clay instead of wasting all of it like that. Clay. Just like that. And I believe, can we do this? Yes, we can put a full block of clay onto these, and that should make terracotta. Now then, let's actually figure out this guy and build ourselves a nice little platform and then block off the staircase up here, because as you can see we're getting surrounded by larger geese, and these geese are not that friendly. 4 bricks. I wonder, do you get more out of this? Campfire. You only get 1. 1 brick from a block of clay. That's extremely expensive. But at least next to the campfire we can stay pretty safe. And using the 1x compressed clay, we can make terracotta, which completes the advancement step to baking. Now you can see these geese are quite aggressive as they spotted me and they immediately wanted to come up here to do things that are unspeakable. Luckily though, we can ignore them for now. Now looking at the advancement tab, it wants us to make a compression of terracotta, a 1x and a 2x, so 16 terracotta and 4 terracotta, and it also wants us to obtain 4x clay compression and 5x clay compression. Have you explored the underground enough? So as we go deeper, we can get even higher, compressions of clay, but for now, we're going to have to continue to compress this stuff, and I believe I can actually just compress this further down, 2x. Okay, so 2x doesn't do anything, but you can actually bake 2x in a kiln to get cobblestone, and to make a kiln, we're going to need 4 terracotta, 3x compressed clay, and some bricks. So now we can take these bricks, convert them, and then we should be able to craft ourselves a kiln from Clayworks, place this guy down, and now we should be able to make our triple compressed clay, and it's annoying you can't do the Control K in inventories, but you can just do that. So we can compress all this, then compress this again, and now if we cooked triple compressed clay, we can make coal. Wait, how did I make... Where was the cobblestone? So we can turn triple compressed clay into coal. Double compressed clay makes cobblestone, gotcha. And then we can use the cobblestone to upgrade our equipment and make ourselves a sword. So double compressed goes in here. And can I use this as a fuel? You cannot. We're gonna need a fuel source. Triple compressed makes coal, so we'll use this, cook 1, because clay planks can smelt 1.5, and this will let us get a bit of coal. So let me make some more triple compressed clay using the rest of this. Convert all of that, convert this, convert the double. And now we can make some more coal, and then we can convert the double compressed clay into cobblestone and harvest some more clay. And there we go, we've entered the Stone Age. Now we can use this to make ourselves a handy little sword, and now we can actually fight off these geese, and I'm not even sure if they drop anything useful. I just know they're really annoying, and they spawn in really high numbers. So let me grab a block of clay here. Yeah, see, they immediately want to come up. And their name is Menace, and when you attack one, it aggroes the rest of them. Nice! And I'm saved. The sun has come up, and now they're all burning to death. Now it looks like they drop stalagmites, which is odd, but as you can see, they actually do pick up items nearby, which is why they're a menace. Now what can we use Menace feet for? Potion of Intimidation, which I'm assuming makes it so the menaces leave me alone. We can also bake it into red dye. Cool stuff. And we get Menace eggs, which I think we can eat, and we can cook them into quadruple compressed clay. Quadruple compressed? What can I use that for? Quadruple in the baking is how we're going to get raw iron. Nice. So let me go ahead and collect all of this. We are going to need a source of food because we took a little bit of damage fighting these guys. Luckily, we can actually just eat clay via clay snacks. It just takes double compressed and regular compressed. So let me take these Menace eggs and break these down into our quadruple compressed clay, and we can make some food. Let me go ahead and also make ourselves a new cobblestone pickaxe so we can mine the denser stuff. Compressed clay, 4th confederation, convert that, convert into double, convert half of that into compressed, and make some snacks. Delicious. Definitely does not get stuck in your teeth at all. Now if we take a look at our advancement page here, we need to find 5th and 6th. Husbandry. Okay, this is vanilla stuff, right? Vanilla. Modern industrialization. We'll get there later. And Mousie's mobs. Not sure when we'll encounter that, but for now we just need to continue to collect clay so we can fill out the rest of the Clayblock advancements. So let's head into the depths. Alright, so I forged a kind of staircase coming all the way down into the valley, because it takes us pretty deep, all the way down to 34 for the Y level. Now, I'm not sure if mobs actually spawn here, but you can see we do have access to 4x compressed clay all the way down here, and I'm starting to think I didn't actually need a pickaxe, because everything is clay, there's no cobblestone. Now, menaces are starting to spawn in the darkness, so I actually should make some more shovels. That's what we need. And then actually, it should be pretty easy to get up to the quintuple compression clay, because quintuple compression will only take 4 of the 4x, and we can start mining that pretty easily. I also noticed, well, I didn't notice, I was looking through the recipes, we can actually use pointed dripstone to make water if we find some crying obsidian, and you can turn it into dripstone blocks, and then cook that into raw beef. So we have another source of food from the pointed dripstone. And it's back to nighttime, and we're surrounded by more menaces. So I'm working on making some cobblestone so we can make ourselves a furnace, and then the next thing I think we need to craft is going to be the modern industrialization forge hammer, so we can get started on modern industrialization and see if we can get ourselves some automation going. Not sure how far that's going to take, but it shouldn't be that difficult. Now we could take our cobblestone and make ourselves a furnace, and put it right next to the kiln, because this gets us different recipes. Like for example, 4x compressed clay in the furnace turns into compressed terracotta, whereas in the kiln makes raw iron. Now one of the advancements we need is going to be collecting 4x terracotta and 5x terracotta, which means if I just convert 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, that should be enough to finish off the advancement. And then I might as well just start converting this stuff into iron so we can have access to iron tools, because to make the forge, how do I spell that? Forge hammer, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 5 pieces of iron, a block of basalted, and a block of curium. Block of curium comes from curium ingots, comes from unfamiliar items, curium dust. Curium dust is made from dead tube blocks and crystamographied clay, which we have to find. Survives explosions. Interesting. Not sure where we get that. But there we go, 4x terracotta. Convert that into 5x and finish off those advancements. All the way up to 6th and 7th, and it doesn't look like this actually unlocks anything from what it looks like. I think it just is telling you those are available. So I can actually break this down into 4x, into 3x, 2x, and 1x, and we can see what we can use it for. So terracotta is used for normal terracotta stuff. Glazed terracotta looks like it doesn't do anything. What about 2x? 2x can be made into sand. So 2x compressed terracotta in the kiln makes sand. You can also blast it into black stone. Interesting. So what about the other ones? So 2x, 3x. 3x terracotta is how we get copper and leather. 4x makes copper ore. 5x makes mangrove logs. That's a bit weird. 6x produces ancient debris. Interesting. So we're going to have to continue to compress stuff to get access to different resources. And after looking around in JEI, it looks like we can use our hammer, our iron here, to craft ourselves an iron excavator, which should do more work than the shovel, as it can dig in a 3x1 area, as you can see there. Pretty nice. Just like that. So we should be able to obtain a lot more clay than we were able to before. Because we're going to have to gear up so we can actually fight menaces, and I think we're going to have to head into the Nether, because we need blocks of basalted. And this is made from obsidian, basalt, and blackstone, which I believe are all found in the Nether. But then blocks of curium, I'm not actually sure where we find this, because curium dust is just made from dead horn coral, which is all from, what is this called? It's an ocean biome, right? I forget what it's called, but this is all dead coral, which is from the ocean. So I think we have to find an ocean, which I'm not sure if one exists nearby. I haven't actually checked to see if they exist, so I guess we're gonna have to go searching for one. Alright, now we're digging in style. Now we can get access to a ton of 4x compressed clay a lot faster. And I think I'll do the quarry method, where I just keep the sun above me, because the menaces spawn in pretty high numbers. And it's actually easier to mine it, because I can just do on the clay, and it'll mine the compressed clay pretty easily, which is quite nice. Now what I'm thinking of is we also need to find a source of lava so we can make, what's it called? We have access to all this dripstone. So we should be able to just get a source of lava and then make an infinite lava source with some cauldrons. And every 4x compressed clay is essentially a piece of iron. So we just have to collect quite a lot of this. Now I haven't seen any lava though, so I'm not sure how deep I'm going to have to go for that, but it shouldn't be that difficult. So I did make a bucket to prepare for that. And if we enter this cave, we should be able to see some menaces. Yeah, we can see the cave network. So that should make it easier to find the lava. And go away. Thank you. Because at least getting access to diamonds shouldn't be that hard, but all these menaces are going to make it pretty annoying. And I'm not sure what their spawning conditions are, because if they can spawn in, say, a 1x1 space, then even if I dig a mine shaft, they can still bother me pretty easily. So I'm just going to continue digging down this whole area of the valley until we get a ton of clay so we can continue progressing. Well, I've returned from my mining trip, and there seems to be a very simple conundrum. There is no lava generated anywhere. So how are we going to go to the Nether, you might ask? I'm not quite sure myself, but there must be an answer somewhere, and while I was underground, I noticed on the minimap there were structures generating all over the place underground. So I think during the next daytime, that's what I'm going to head out and start to look for. Now I am making a bunch of iron here from our compressed clay, so I can gear up, because if we're going to head into these open caves, we're going to be fighting a lot of these menaces, and I'm going to need something better than being naked. Alright, the daylight has returned, the menaces are gone. Let's head underground and see if we can't find ourselves some structures to loot and see if that will help with our progression. Okay, so it does seem like if I damage the menaces enough, they leave me alone. And I didn't bring any building blocks, which will make going down pretty annoying. But if you look, see, I noticed stuff like this. So there's brown over here, there's green, and then there's like this kind of structure type thing over there, which caught my eye. So I'm assuming I need to check out those. And like one over here. So I should be able to set a temporary waypoint to these. And let's see what we can find over here. 180 blocks that way. And let's head in. A lot of menaces this way. Let's see, we can go through the tunnel I dug. That should make it easier. Man, these clay caves are filled completely with chasms, like everywhere. Luckily we have clay everywhere too, so we can just build our way through pretty much everything. Let's see, 86, so we should be getting near it. I don't see anything over here. Mostly just more menaces. But at least we could dig out pretty easily. Which should make it pretty easy to get out of here. Oh, there's menace. Gotta check the corners on these guys. But yeah, after they fall below a certain amount of health, they back off, which is really nice. Let's see, it's 40 blocks that direction. So I can almost see it from here. So let's head down this way. See if we can't make ourselves over to this structure and see what's inside. Ooh, that must be one of Mousy's mobs. And there it is, the structure. So there's got to be something inside of this. Because it's made of, looks like terracotta, and we actually use terracotta to make other items. And there's menaces here too. What is hitting me? Oh, I think they just have long range. Well, after you hit them enough, they back off. That is still annoying. But at least with the iron armor, they don't really do a ton of damage. Only a block. Let's see, white concrete, chiseled white terracotta blocks. There's another structure down there. Let's take a look on the inside. Purple terracotta. And you actually do use all this stuff. So like white concrete has no uses, but we can take it anyway because we can walk faster. But purple terracotta can be blown up into amethyst shards. That was one of the things I noticed while looking in JEI. There's a lot of TNT explosions that we can use to get other resources from colored terracotta. Man, these menaces are annoying though. I'm gonna take all this concrete though, because then I can use it to build some roads and we can get around a lot faster. 4x, 4x, 4x. And it looks like the roof is also built out of this stuff, which isn't amazing, but it is useful. And what about this stuff? Chiseled white. Okay, that doesn't do anything, so it's just a building block. But on the inside, there are some items. Let's take a look here. Crying obsidian and a shulker box. Interesting. Who's cutting onions? Crying obsidian, and this is what I noticed before when I was looking at JEI. Crying obsidian drips water into a cauldron and will eventually decay, which means we can turn this crying obsidian into regular obsidian to make our nether portal. Now let's see, black stained terracotta. Doesn't look like there's anything else in here, mostly just this. So we just want to take the colored terracotta and leave all of the chiseled stuff. Oh, and this is actually a full shulker box, so I can actually store stuff in here. Nice. That'll save a lot of inventory space. Now we are surrounded by these geese, which is really annoying, but I can actually just build myself out of here, so it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Just wish I didn't have to fight all the geese at the same time. But regardless, can I use the iron excavator to actually mine all of this? No, so I should have built a hammer. Good thing I brought an iron pickaxe though. So we're going to take this terracotta, and then if the loot is the same, then the house I saw down there should also have some crying obsidian in it. If you look on the mini-map, yeah, there's actually a lot of these houses. And I'm not seeing the thing over here though, so I'm not actually sure if that was something. But that did look like a grid, which I thought was interesting. Like some kind of waypoint. Or point of interest. Now I do want to make sure I get some of all of this. Let me convert this. So I can plug up the holes, because I don't want the geese coming in. Because I want to see what we use this for. So orange makes honey bottles. Red makes redstone. Cyan makes string. Purple makes amethyst. Lime makes slime balls. And there's also, well, I saw orange already. Green, and that's it. Gotcha. So let's head over to this house and see if we can't get ourselves some more crying obsidian. Go away! Why are there so many of you? Ouch. Ouch. Hey, you can't get me over here, buddies. Okay, you can get me over here. Okay, that's a little bit better. Man, these menaces are so annoying. Okay, luckily the house is right here. And we can build over to this platform, and then build down to the house. And we got another shulker box and more crying obsidian. Okay, so it seems to be the same thing. Not complaining though, because that's all really useful stuff, especially the shulker boxes. Early game shulker boxes are great. But now with 16 crying obsidian, that is enough to make a nether portal, and we can get out of here. We'll just need a couple of diamonds. So let me grab you. And then making a diamond pickaxe should be really easy because we can make a diamond from, I believe it was the 6x? Yeah, 6x compressed clay. Look at its face. It repulses me. Okay, let's get out of here. And by the looks of it, it shouldn't be difficult to get access to diamonds, because once you get below Y level 0, we can start finding 5x compressed clay, and it takes only 4 of these to turn it into diamonds. It spawns in pretty big groups as well, which is very nice. So I'm going to have to spend some time down here collecting this, because every 4 of these is a diamond. But we should be good on the iron needed to make the cauldrons. We just need 3 diamonds to actually harvest it, and then we'll be good to go. And there we go, finally safe and sound. Now it does seem like if you already have a lot of menaces spawning, a ton of them don't show up at your house, which is nice. But now we can start converting this into coal, and converting everything else into our 6x whatchamacallit. So let me go ahead and leave all this here. Let me put down these shulker boxes. Put away the bricks, 1 and 2. And let's see, we need to convert all of our clay into 6x so we can make diamonds. We're going to need more dripstone so we can actually collect all of the obsidian, but then we'll be on our merry way to the Nether. So first things first, the very slow process, but at least it's a little bit faster, of converting all of this. Let me put away the colored stuff. Of converting all of this into its higher tiers. Luckily, this is just holding Control K. And there we go. 7x compressed clay worth 65,536 clay balls. This can be used to make a wither skeleton skull, and it can be smelted into 7x compressed terracotta. But what we needed was the 6x compressed to make our 3 diamonds. So now we're going to take this, put the 6x in here, convert more of our iron, and that'll get us our 3 diamonds. Now we are going to need a cauldron, like so. We're going to need pointed dripstone, a dripstone block, and crying obsidian. And we can use the bucket to store some water, because I did realize too, there's no water in this entire world either. And, I should probably expand the base just a little bit. But we're on such a mountainous area, it's going to take a little while. So I guess for now, we'll put this right here. Put a block of clay here. Dripstone block, then remove the clay. Now if I put pointed dripstone, and then put the crying obsidian on top, that should work. So what's going to happen is the crying obsidian is going to cry, as you can see, into the cauldron, and we're going to collect water, and eventually this will turn into regular obsidian, which we can then obtain by using our 3 diamonds. And let's go ahead and make ourselves a diamond pickaxe. And honestly, no, I was about to say I probably could have skipped all the way to diamond gear, but I don't think we could have, because to actually go down deep enough where it's worth it to mine for like the 5x compressed stuff, there's a lot of geese. And to fight the geese, we needed at least iron to actually reduce the damage down to half a heart. Otherwise, they just do too much. So let me remove this waypoint. We don't need it anymore. Oh, so there's actually quite a lot of these campfires. That's what these are. What is that? That looks a little too small to be a campfire. Regardless, though, we're on our merry way. So now we can start collecting water, so I can make an infinite water source. And we should also expand out this platform here, so I can actually build a base. But what should I make it out of? Should I just keep making it out of clay? I mean, I guess so, for X. But if that's all the clay we have, we can make a couple more diamonds. But we're going to need quite a lot more to actually build a full set of diamond gear for the Nether. But here comes the sun, so I think what I'll do is just head back down into the mine, establish some more of this pointed dripstone so we can make some more obsidian cry, because we're going to need 2, 4, 7, 10 obsidian in total before we can venture into the Nether. Oh, we don't have flint either. Where do we get flint? Flint drops from gravel, obviously. Gravel comes from Scion terracotta bricks. Scion terracotta bricks come from terracotta bricks in Scion. Scion is green and blue. Blue dye from scrimblow. How do you say that? Scrimblow. Scrimblow feathers make blue dye. Or if we drop an anvil on crying obsidian, we can get 5 different colored dyes. Interesting. Okay, there's some of our water. And I do think I have to empty these. Actually, I'm not sure. Does it keep dripping forever? Not actually sure. But there's our water bucket, and now we can establish ourselves an infinite water source to do some crop farming. And I think we're going to have to get some scrimblows over here so we can actually do some. I definitely did not just Google it right now. I was going to say horticulture, but it seems like they just call it poultry farming, which seems a little lazy to me. But we're going to need some scrimblows. And we're also going to need an anvil as well. Can we? And I don't think we have enough iron for that. But I can make it. It's not a problem. It'll just take some time. Convert you. Some more iron. So let's see. We're going to need 9. We're going to need a lot of iron to make the anvil. Yeah, more iron. And that came from the 4x, right? 4x. Yep, 4x. So let me convert this into 5, into 4. So we can make some more of that. Make some more iron. Then we're going to have to expand this area, which I think we'll just do using clay, because it's so much abundance, you know? What else should we build out of? Clay, clay, clay. And expand it out. But we're going to need some scrimblows next. So I built this bridge to cross the chasm because spawn is over in that direction, and I do believe all the yellow dots are friendly scrimblows, which we should be able to tame using double compressed clay. And it does seem like they're attracted to it as they start looking over here. And we just right click, they become our friend. There we go. And they sit down. So nice. What are you guys doing? They made a little baby scrimblow. How adorable. Scrimblow egg. And these are just regular eggs. We can smelt them down. Now we are going to need quite a lot of these guys, so we can actually get the feathers for our dyes. So I'm going to just tame a whole bunch and then bring them back to the base. They do follow you around and they teleport, which is nice because that means getting them back to the base will be a lot easier. I don't have to baby them the whole way. Grab you guys. Just like that. And I wonder, do they function like wolves? Because they follow me around, so I wonder if they'll fight the menaces. It's a good question. But if they don't fight the menaces, then I think I should build a little fence so they don't get attacked during the night. And there we go. A whole family of scrimblows. Now we're gonna have to get quite a lot of them. That way I can, you know, cull a few for the feathers. But at least for now, this is good enough. And I think we should also... Oh, there we go. It turned into obsidian. Then we harvest this guy. And we just need another 9? 6 plus 4? Yeah, another 9. And one of the scrimblows is pushing me. That's a little annoying. Grab that. There we go. Ice bucket challenge. And where's the rest? Right here. You can sit on top. There you go. Put you there. And that should handle all the obsidian for us. Now, how do I get flint? Flint came from gravel. Gravel is from cooking cyan terracotta. Cyan terracotta. Did I get cyan? Oh, I did get cyan terracotta. Perfect. So, cyan terracotta bricks, just like this. Then we're going to cook this into gravel in our furnace. Like that to make gravel. And then we just have to break it, and it's a 10% chance to get our flint, and then we can light the portal. Of course, the slowest part is just going to be waiting for the crying obsidian to turn into regular obsidian, but at least we don't have to actually do anything related to that other than waiting. There we go, obsidian. Now if I place you and break it, it's a 10% chance, so I just got to keep doing it until we get one piece of flint. And there we go, one piece of flint. Done and out of the way. Flint and steel. Done. Now we just have to wait for the rest of the obsidian, and we can head off into the Nether. And that should unlock quite a lot of stuff for us, because there's quite a lot of things that is gated by the Nether by the looks of it. Obsidian. This guy. Do this. And should I collect some more gear for diamond armor for the Nether? I mean, probably, because it's not really, you know, that difficult. It's just going to be mining a bunch of clay. Can I make fences out of the fence? Out of the clay blocks. Oh, here come the menaces. Let's see if our scrimblows actually keep them away. Guess we'll find out. So if I set you to walk around, what's going to happen? It does kind of look like the menaces are staying away now. So maybe the scrimblows are working. Hard to say, hard to say. Regardless though, we're gonna have to wait for the obsidian and then we can head off to the Nether. And now finally, after like 15 minutes, I've converted 10 crying obsidian to regular obsidian, and now we can enter the Nether. But I think we're going to save that for next episode. So while I was waiting for it to convert, I did clear out more of this area. I'm going to try and flatten it out a bit so we can actually have, a large-ish space to start building our base. And I think how wide I want it to be is I'll leave this here kind of like as an outpost, but I'm going to want to flatten it down to this level where the glazed terracotta is, and then push it out to, I think, that side there. And that should give us ample space to build out our infrastructure once we need it. But for now, let's place down our obsidian and light the portal. And let me make some of this so I can actually finish it off. 2, 3, like so. Bam. And done. Now, I do think I'm going to need diamond armor before actually venturing in there. Just because I'm thinking that if the difficulty is... Where'd that guy come from? The difficulty is turned up a bit, which I'm guessing it is. Iron armor is probably not going to cut it. But after that, it should be pretty easy overall. And it should access to the Nether should give us all the resources we need to actually get into modern industrialization and start our automation journey of clay. But as always, I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you guys next time.